Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, and just a little video. I just wanted to discuss a few things. Yeah, we've actually been going over a few different things on my Discord as well. I'll post a link to that in the description, or I'm in a pinned comment or something. But yeah, there's definitely some events that you need to look out for that's going to come up pretty soon. We keep talking about the tower event. Keep trying to prepare your dark teams as much as possible. Unfortunately, that's all you can really do for that. Hopefully you can get some more dark girls from the gacha, but also if you want to prepare for the next tower, because the next tower you're focusing on dark characters because it's a light tower. Then there's a dark tower that's going to come on like 2 months after the fact, and it'll be more light focused. There's actually a light gacha that's going on right now. I unfortunately can't pull for it because I've been wanting mana for who knows how long. But that's the whole thing with that. You can prepare for the next tower as well, on top of the one that's about to pop up. So that should be showing up probably within a week or two. So it's definitely within the next 3 events. I'm pretty sure of that one. What also could be in the next few events is another crossover event. This one should be a crossover with the Grisaia series. I, for one, really like the Grisaia series. I've seen the entire anime. I know a lot about one of the games. They're going to have another anime pretty soon for Phantom Trigger. I'm looking forward to that. If they don't have it already, of course. But the Grisaia series is actually pretty good, and from what I've seen on YouTube, they actually have a video that's going to show a new gacha game, I guess, for them. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be in Japanese, so I'd probably be able to play it on DMM, but not on Nutaku, basically. But I might actually give it a shot, depending on if I can access it or not. Again, I really like the Grisaia series. I just won't be able to understand the storyline or anything like that. Another event that should be coming up that you're going to want to actually pay attention to. There should be another Skill Kun event. You probably want to deal with that too when it pops up. With that event, from what I'm hearing, it's going to be the most damage you can pull off in one turn. So, and I'm also hearing the boss instantly debuffs itself, so maybe it will be 2 turns, I don't know, but it's the most damage you can do in one go. So, considering that most teams probably can't burst, you're going to be wanting to look towards stuff like ability damage, getting your combo damage up, stuff like that. So, that said, try to get as much as possible. If it still has a meter on it, then maybe you can somehow shoot it to raging and then in the stun. Get your stun nukers to do some damage. Just come up with different ways to try and do as much damage as possible in one go. Chances are you're not getting burst off. And unless burst time somehow works on that guy or something like that, you're not getting burst off. More than likely. Because at most you'll probably have like 2 turns to prepare, so if you can't get your full burst ready in one turn, you're probably not doing any full burst. You might get normal burst off because, Shingen, but that's it. But, there's going to be a Grisaia crossover, another Skill Kun coming up at some point. There might be more of these Union events too. I don't know if they'll repeat the Willems, but there's definitely going to be some newer ones that they'll toss in. Because of course, they're not going to lock out Shingen because you need Holy Soul points in order to get a shot at her. But also there's something else too that's going to pop up pretty nicely. Accessory quest rank 6. There's going to be a Thunder enemy that's going to be very, very hard to damage because he's got like a 10,000 defense rating in a game where most enemies are 8 or 10. So it's going to be very hard to kill that one. If you're having trouble with that enemy, we have thought of something that can help you a little bit, bringing damage over time in that fight, because that's like the only time you can really get any sort of use out of damage over time skills like Poison or Putrefy or Burn, stuff like that. Because those are flat amounts and they'll bypass the defense. So that's probably the only time you'll want those. So Mordred users will definitely have a field day for that. Also, what else? There's going to be Guardian Angel fights pretty soon. If we're right, they're going to pop up next month, like officially a month from now, but who knows. The Guardian Angel fights are going to be difficult, for sure. Thankfully, it's just one enemy. But the main thing that makes them difficult is the fact that they are damage sponges. Now, the Ragnarok fights are a trip in their own right, because they're practically rigged against you. But the Guardian Angel fights, they ease up on the different patterns and whatnot, but it still doesn't change this one simple fact that you're going to be having a huge amount of HP to burn through. 125 million, I think, at the very least. And then there's going to be a Phantom Element one that pops up later down the line, who's going to be, like, insanely, like, her HP is going to be nuts. Her HP is going to be like 300 million. Now, on DMM side, that's nothing, because stronger players are capable of clearing those fights in a matter of like 5 minutes or less. They're dealing that much damage on DMM. But the Guardian Angels are going to open up a lot more stuff for us, because I think it's like 6 months after the fact they'll end up giving us the ability to get raid coins or whatever to trade for phantom weapons and Ori Shalicons and other good stuff. But at the same time, they're going to also give the Guardian Angels themselves are going to give us some very powerful equipment, because from what I've been told, the Angels themselves will have a special effect where they'll take the total value of all your defender and assault and all that and multiply each by like up to 1.4. So if you have like 100% defender, you'll have 140% all of a sudden by having one of those Guardian Angels equipped, the corresponding one for the weapons grids. If you have 150, it'll push it to almost 200. So it's like that. But they are pretty good in their own right. Honestly, you might consider using them if you don't have 100%. I know I might, because it'll give me a huge spike and I can just use friend 100%. It might actually give me a better spike than Diablos, I gotta calculate that. But, something else about those fights too is the weapons they give, because you can sometimes get their weapons. You can still get phantom weapons from them too, at a random chance. But the Guardian Angel weapons, they're very strong. And another little nice effect for them too is the fact that you can grind them out. So you can trade for those, you can sometimes get them as drops. The only downside is that they will have a much higher skill level requirement than the other weapons, because when the first Guardian Angels show up, I do believe that's when the skill level system changes to where it's an EXP value instead of a chance, and we'll be able to go up multiple levels at once. So that said, don't be afraid to just throw a whole bunch of R weapons as is. Even SR and all that too, but you get more value out of them by upgrading them. But that's the thing, those weapons are going to be a lot harder to upgrade. By comparison, if you haven't seen my skill level video I just recently did, it will take about 4,000, well, I don't need the buff right now. It will take about 4,900 skill level experience in order to pretty much shoot one weapon from skill level 1 to skill level 30. Unfortunately, you won't be able to access skill level 30 unless you have skill level 20 already, but this is just for comparison. But it takes 4,900 total for a skill level 30 weapon. The Guardian weapons need over 9,400. So that's almost double. But a lot of those do have some very strong abilities. There's one weapon for Wind that actually has 2 versions of Pride. I don't know how they did that, but it's 2 versions of Pride. Because there's a skill effect that has like a dual effect, and then there's like, I think it's called Slug or something. But it has a Pride effect, and then it has a skill effect that has Pride with, I do believe, Defender. I forgot what it was, but it's pretty good. Because think about it, you get two forms of Pride, and then as your HP drops, it will spike by a lot. So, quite frankly, considering Wind doesn't really have too many healers anyways, you're probably going to want to use that weapon. It'll make you hit hard, and then you're hitting harder as the fight progresses. But also, you're seeing me grind out this Phantom Element event too. When the Phantom Guardian shows up, the Phantom Guardian Angel, she'll have a better idea than this Phantom one. So, you may want to keep this a little until then, you may not. It depends on your plans with leveling up Kamihime. Quite frankly, if you have Vlad or SSR Diablos, you might even sell for the SR Diablos if you manage to get her Adoan effect up. But you may want to keep this Phantom Willem, you may not. When the Guardian Angel pops up, you definitely don't want to keep this Phantom Willem. There will be better Adoans at that point. More so when Epic Quests start showing up, and I have no idea when that's going to happen too, because Epic Quests will let you go back and get old raid event stuff, like old Adoans and weapons. They're very easy to actually do because they work like advents. So it's worth going back in there and doing that, at least for the Adoan orbs, and if you don't care for the weapons, you get more skill leveling fodder. Not to mention, if they still have the drop rate thing, you'll probably get extra copies. So, that said, you might want to do the epic quest anyway, regardless of how strong you are. I don't know when they'll start, but they're on their way eventually. Because that's just how it is. I keep forgetting the buff on this one. Probably because I'm talking and running. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming up, so you guys should keep an eye out. And definitely still try to get your team stronger because of towers. That's the only real reason why you should try to have every single element. Because you see how much damage I'm doing with my white team. I can really just run with them for practically everything in the game. It's just, tower requires you to use elemental advantage in order to get the most medals. Also, if you plan on using Stinger, you need elemental advantage anyway, so there's that too. Stinger weapons or the critical buffs and all that type of stuff, you need elemental advantage. Tower event, you'll also need elemental advantage. Why not combine the two, maybe? But the only other thing I can mention is preparing for the 4th tier souls, because there's going to be better ones than all these. They're all pretty good, but of course everybody's going to be clamoring over Yoriko, who's 4th tier Shingen. They're going to be clamoring over the 4th tier Andromeda as well, because she's insanely powerful. With her, you shouldn't die. I'm serious. If you die with her, you're doing something horribly wrong. More so if you have Ascension on whatever grid you're using her for. And Medea, she brings ability damage into some very good effects and whatnot. She's actually making ability damage viable. So Solomon weapons are definitely worth it. More so because Solomon helps you out in tower too, because she makes clearing lower force pretty easily, but when you get Medea, oh boy. But last thing I can say to that is pretty much just prepare your teams. I mean, you want them to be tower worthy, but at the same time, you still want your main team to be able to grind out all this stuff for other stuff. Because when the Guardian Angels pop up, I will be trying to get weapons for all my grids. The Guardian Angel weapons do take a lot longer, but a lot of these come with triple effects, some very strong ones at that, so even if you get them to skill level 20, that's still pretty powerful. So that's something to know. Last thing I have to mention too is, I don't know this for sure, but if you've noticed, the SSR Guaranteed Gacha seems to have merged. I don't know if this is a permanent thing or not, I can only assume that it is. So you may want to pay attention to that. That's the whole thing with that gacha. It might have merged, it might not. And yeah, I'm not using Diablos because I'd have to mix element this. And quite frankly, a friend Diablos is not really optimal unless you're leveling up your Hime. Because you want to use your own Diablos with a friend 100% Adoan. If you have to use Diablos for a damage boost. And that's the other thing too. One final thing. When it comes to finding out what's best for your teams and whatnot, wow, I didn't expect that much. I need to buff twice for that. But if you're trying to figure out what's best for your teams, you really do need to learn what the damage calculation formula is, because it takes quite a bit of math for sure. And maybe you're not the best math wizard. Just get a calculator if you need some help. But keep in mind that it's pretty much assault times defender. I mean, not times defender. Assault times elemental times vigor times special attack times exceed if you're bursting, or elaborate if you're doing ability damage and all that. You have to pretty much multiply all that in order to factor in what's best. Like, see, here's special attack add-ons right here. I actually do less with them right now because my HP hasn't dropped, but when it increases, I can actually do more than this friend St. Nicholas that just picked up. That's what I'm talking about. You have to calculate what your grid is versus all these different add-ons you can have and all these different effects. It includes your buffs too. Reason why I carry this attack buff for Hercules is because she'll keep it up for 3 turns out of the 4 it takes for it to recast. So 75% of the time I have an extra 20% assault. That's why I carry that buff over limit and all that type of stuff. That's why I'm using that for Hercules. So again, there's many different ways to get stronger in this game. There really is. You might even find something new that people haven't thought of where it will make them more powerful, because with certain conditions, the Guardian Angel add-ons are actually better than the 100% ones. But you need to have some insanely powerful grids in order to pull that off. So, like I said, figure out what works best for you. That's the biggest thing about this game. Figure out what works best for you. You might want to go chasing after, say, 200% add-ons and then all this assault in the seed and combo rate increase and all that. That's all fine and good, but with what you currently have, you may be missing out on some very good damage, and you don't know about it. I mean, look at this. I don't have 100% add-on, but I'm a light main practically one-shotting these event add-ons and all this in just one go. I really could. I don't need debuffs, and honestly, I don't need buffs. I could just ability nuke. But that's the thing. Figure out what works best for you. That's the biggest thing about this game. Because, quite frankly, I've even been told that sometimes the rainbow assault weapons aren't worth it. They can be in some situations. You just need to be in that situation. So if somebody tells you something's not worth it, it's not a bad thing to question them on that, because they may be overlooking something. Even I overlook things at times. I get corrected on that sometimes, and it's fine. But that's the biggest thing about this game. It's so many ways to get powerful. The only real limit is the soft caps on damage. When you start hitting those, then you might want to look somewhere else, because it's pointless to get more assault when you're hitting the soft caps on, say, ability damage, normal attacks, and burst damage. There's no point in getting any more assault. Just go get something else. But, anyways, that's all for this. This video went a little bit longer than I thought, and it's pretty much showing off me grinding the ever-loving crap out of grails. I think other union members are doing this too, which is why our grail count's going up pretty fast. At this rate, we'll have 1,600 grails by tomorrow. That's insane. Because when it comes to burst time, and if you could just instantly kill it, just go in and just do it. You don't have to invite other people at that point, because you're just going to one-shot the thing. I mean, you could still let others pinch hit off it, but you could still one-shot the thing and just go. Well, how fast my laptop is loading and everything, I can obliterate this crap. So that's the whole thing with that. Just do what works best for you. That's the biggest thing about this game. But anyways, I'm going to end this video right here, continue grinding, because there's still like 14 minutes of burst time basically. And more of this will definitely come soon, because like I said, new events are going to pop up. A lot of good content is going to pop up too. We'll eventually even get Labyrinths too, which will really help newer players catch up. And everybody should do it, because you get an Ori Child Con from that. But there's definitely going to be some good stuff popping up. And then, like I said, there's going to be more things. I'll even have a pool video too, because I'm going to pull on the SSR thing. I don't know if they'll have light boosted stuff by then. I'm mad that the Monogamma gacha right now is just not going to be up by then, because I swear I would pull hard on that. I'm hearing other people in Discord getting her. So give it a shot if you're trying to get some more light stuff, because there are a nice little selection of light characters even if you don't get mana. And like I said, more of this will definitely come soon. But for now, guys, take care.